Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be sharing the little kit that I put together to work on my Thankful 30. I just finished my October daily and I'm really excited about that, but it's time for my Thankful 30. I love this project. Every year I keep it very simple so I can finish it, and this is something I always recommend to you guys, that if you're gonna do something like this, a project that's like daily journaling or taking photos daily or whatever the case is to keep it simple so you can finish it. I've used the field notes every year for my Thankful 30, and what I usually used to do was trim it down to fit a 3x4, right? So my 3x4 cards fit comfortably in there with a 3x4 photo. And I really enjoyed that, especially that I'm not a huge fan of cornered traveler's notebooks. But I noticed last year, because I did it, this will be my third year doing a Thankful 30, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So I noticed last year that I wanted a little bit of more space to add little tidbits of, my kits. And especially this year, Feed Your Craft released the kit and also added on some simple stories things and embellishments. So I really wanted to use them. What I thought I would do was not trim it down like I usually do every year, right? And this is really easy to do. I've trimmed it down last year. I trimmed it down the year before. Actually, the year before, I trimmed down a traveler's notebook. So I trimmed down a full-on traveler's notebook because honestly, I have a lot and I never end up using all of them. So I was okay trimming it down, and it got really bulky. So I was okay with that. The year after, I used a field notes. But anyways, enough about the years before. Let's talk about this year. So this year I decided I'm not trimming it down. I want the full spread so I can use extra embellishments. Even though it's really not that much bigger, I think a field notes is about like, let's see the size here. I think field notes is about 3.5 by 5.5. I think I'm reading that right. It's so hard to read this. It's very small font. Anyway, it's a little bit bigger than a 3x4. So I'm going to keep it as is and document in that. I always end up with 2 for each year, so I'm okay with that. I will be using Feed Your Craft's Thankful 30 kit. Love these cards. I use them every year. They're great to add journaling, or if you wanted to add your photo on there, just great. And I love the colors this year. They're just so pretty. So excited. So I'm going to use the cards from that kit. I'll also be using the little pockets that came in the kit. I added on 1 stamp set, and I did that because I wanted to remember to use this, but also I'm gonna use all kinds of different stamp sets. I'm not just sticking to this one, but this is an old Kelly Perky stamp set. The simple stories, oh, well, before I get into that, I will also be using Feed Your Crafts stamp set that came in the kit, and I have other Thankful 30 stamp sets from previous years that I will be using as well. But to make this video as short as possible, I just grabbed the kit on hand. I will be using Simple Stories embellishments. I got these from Elise as well from Feed Your Craft. And so I got the puffy stickers, the dies, these stickers. I think it was only the 12x12 sheet here that I got from scrapbook.com. I'm not sure, but most of these were from Feed Your Craft. So the papers work really well with the cards, and I hope I can get to use them. I'm not sure. And if I don't, it's okay. I can always use it in my fall traveler's notebook. Some old stickers from Kelly Perky. And I'm switching it up with these as well. Oh, and the 12x12 sticker sheet as well from Simple Stories. So let me move these aside so I can share this with you. I purchased this bundle. I think this was the bundle. Maybe no, this was the bundle. I can't remember now. But anyway, I purchased the bundle from Carrie Bradford, and I grabbed these extras, right? What I wanted to do, I a huge lover of number stamps, month stamps, date stamps, all that stuff, because they're something you can use on everything and anything. And I never bought any blocked number and month stamps. And I thought this would be perfect to have on hand and to use for my Thankful 30. And I can use it on all the things, right? So I am thinking that these are going to work. I actually tried them out. So I stamped out the 2020, the November from here, a few of the numbers to fill out, and they worked so nicely in my little field notes traveler's notebook that I'm going to use that to represent the day I am documenting, if that makes sense. They're bold, they're beautiful. I'm so happy I bought them. They're just the perfect little add-on for my little traveler's notebook, and it's going to change it up a little bit. I think this is something that we should all do. Like if you are doing these types of projects every year, you should, try to think of something new to do on your spread and change it up a little bit just so it's fresh for you. I always recommend this, to think outside the box, even if it's as simple as a new stamp set like this. To change it up, it really makes a huge difference. So I'm going to use these products. I'm going to share with you my first few days in my Thankful 30. I'm so excited. This is going to come together so quickly and so easily. I'm so happy that I finished my October daily. That came together quick because I kept it simple. And I'll have a flip through of my October daily very, very soon. But now it's time to work in my Thankful 30. I'm really excited. As always, I'll be linking everything down in the description box for you. So if you want to see how my first few days come together, just keep watching. Okay, guys, let's start working my Thankful 30. I'm really excited to start this project. Now, I went ahead and added my journaling to my 3x4 cards from Feed Your Craft. I sized my photo, I think it was around 3.5 by 2, if I'm not mistaken. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to change up the format of my project this year, but still work in a field notes. So I literally shrunk down my photo so I can fit the blocked numbers from Carrie Bradford on the side. And it worked out perfectly. I did have to measure everything, and you guys know I hate measuring things, but it worked out. And now I have my little format going. And I love the boldness of my numbers. I ended up just stamping November 1st, 2020, and I'm going to do that on every single spread. And I am using Feed Your Crafts prompts for this project. And day one is documenting something about your personality. So I just kind of journaled about like building myself to be a confident woman, and it took time. And I'm very proud of myself that I got there. I love the woman that I am today. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and trim down my little block numbers here and start sticking things down. Now, I did mention that I wasn't going to trim down my field notes this year because I wanted to be able to use my product. And I'm so happy I did that because I was able to use a lot of the Simple Stories line that I purchased from Feed Your Craft. Now, I believe a lot of the stuff is sold out at Feed Your Craft, but anything I find online from scrapbook.com or Feed Your Craft, I will link it in the description box for you guys, just to make the process of finding them easy for you. Now, I started off by adding a few leaves next to my photo and my dates. I will use Feed Your Craft's Apollo Alpha stamp, the inline and outline. I've done this, since I've started Thankful 30. I always add a little title. It's just fun and it brings in some color. So I will end up stamping me, and I will use the inline as well. I did not sit there and match my ink pads. I have shared in a previous live like colors that match these cards, but I like to kind of go with the flow and bring in different colors. This is a great opportunity to bring in a different color to your spread. So I ended up using like a more linen color for my title. I'm also adding a few more leaves to the opposite side just to bring in some color and make everything kind of flow. I use the stamp set from Feed Your Craft to stamp thank you and a little pumpkin right above that. And I think I'm almost done with day one. Like, these spreads come together so easily because I have like this whole style going with the journaling card, the photo, and the date. So basically, I always recommend this. If you're doing a project like this, keep it simple, keep it cohesive, and believe me, you will end up finishing your project. I believe for day 2, the prompt was to document something about you physically, and I'm gonna be thankful for my hands. I always end up documenting my hands, I think, because honestly, I get to do everything that I want to do because of my hands. I get to take care of my kids, myself, my home, work. I get to craft with my hands. So I'm always very thankful for them. So I just journaled about that. Because I'm keeping this whole thing cohesive, it's going to come together really easily, really fast. I am going to stamp out hands using my Feed Your Craft Apollo Alpha stamps. And then I get to kind of play. I'm going to use that 12 by 12 sticker sheet to add a few stickers to bring in some color, make it all pretty and cute. Oh, and by the way, I've been moving my cards to cover any ink bleed through, right? So some spreads, I will have my cards to the top of my spread, and some I'll move them to the bottom of my spread. It just depends where I end up stamping, but I just thought it was a good idea to cover up any ink bleed through. I also used the stickers that kind of look like washi just to add some balance and add a little something to these spreads. Because they're so small, you do want to change them up any way you can. Now, day 3 was, I believe, documenting a friend. And I decided to document my 2 besties. I've known these girls since middle school. We're still close, even though each one of us is in a different country. But we always chat. We always have our little group chat. And I just love them so, so much. And I love their kids and I miss them dearly. So I'm going to document them. I'm going to go ahead and just stamp out the rest of the days that I have journaled and, got ready for myself. But I think I just end up documenting up to day 4. But I'm going to go ahead and trim down my dates and start working on day 3, sticking down my card, my photo, and my date. And then I can start embellishing my spread. So I had a stamp set from Everyday Explorer, and in that stamp set, there was a stamp that said, "These are my people," and it was like a half a circle. I thought it was the perfect little stamp to stamp out and tuck behind my 3x4 card, and it's a perfect spot to create a little cluster of leaves or flowers. So I end up stamping that on some white paper, trimming it out. I'm trying my hardest not to stamp directly on my field notes. The paper on the field notes is not thick enough. And if I start stamping and going all stamp crazy, I'm going to have a lot of bleed through, so I didn't want that. But I was okay to just stamp my titles directly on my spread, because nobody has time to sit there and trim out every single alpha stamp, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp out friends using the Feed Your Craft Apollo stamp set. And then I get to grab my Simple Stories stickers to embellish and create clusters around my photos, my dates, and my card. I love how bold my title turned out. I think that mustardy yellow just worked perfectly with my card, and it just brought in a lot of color to the opposite side. Now, I chose to put this large sticker on the bottom of my card, but I'm going to end up changing my mind. I just think it's way too big and too busy for the spread. But I do start creating my cluster, and this is around the time I decide I'm moving that large sticker. I'm not going to use it and try to find something that's just a little bit less bolder. I do end up finding a little word sticker that says nuts about you, and it's in that same mustardy yellow, so it worked out perfectly. One thing I love about starting a project like this with a small stash, it really helps you save time. So you're not looking through your own products and trying to find the right embellishment or the right stamp. It's like literally just there for you, and you get to use your new products and not hoard them. And also it just, saves you a lot of time finding things. So I just always recommend when you are creating any kind of project, even if you were working on your December daily. I don't do a December daily, but if I did, I would keep it simple, keep it cohesive, and just document the moment. It's all about documenting the moment. It is not about buying all the stuff and using all the stuff. It's literally just, documenting the moment, adding your journaling, and enjoying crafting more than anything. So anyways, we are done with day 3. We're moving on to day 4. Day 4 in the Feature Craft prompts was to document either your pet or your kids. This was really hard for me because you guys know we have a new family member this year and I really want to document him, but believe me, I will. So I'm going to start with my kids. I always document my kids because you guys know they are so special to me. So I'm going to go ahead, stick down my 3x4 card, my kid's picture, and then my dates. I will use the Apollo Alpha stamps from Feature Craft to add kids as my title. And I end up using, I think, a close to my heart ink pad. I think it's the Bell Blue. It's just so pretty and it matched so nicely with my card. So I just go for it. So when I was stamping out kids, I thought I should have stamped my kids. And I thought maybe the best way to add my is with a smaller stamp set. So I grabbed one of my Kelly Perky stamps. It's like the blocked ones. I thought it would look fun to match my date. But I end up really struggling with these 2 letters. It's ridiculous how much time I put into it. So I end up stamping it, trimming them out, adding them to my little title, but I hate it so much. I leave it there actually, but I will end up removing them by the end of, my video because they just looked kind of off and I didn't have the right spot for them. And I was thinking way too hard about it. I don't know why. I could have just stamped like in script over kids if I wanted to, but I'm happy I didn't because you know what? I don't need my in there. It's okay. I know they're my kids, so I will end up removing that. I grabbed the die cut pack from the Simple Stories line, thinking I would use something from that pack, and I love that Thankful. I did add it to the top corner, but I'm going to move it around, and honestly that's why I didn't stick it down because I wasn't sure I wanted it there, but I'm just going to leave it as is and then I can decide later. I will use the strip of washi. Well, it's the sticker, but I'm using it as washi, and I'm going to stick that to the bottom right underneath my 3x4 card, and I'll also end up adding it to the top just to bring in some color to my spread. This is where I decide I'm going to move my Thankful die cut to the bottom and create a cluster in the corner and a cluster underneath my card. It's a great way to just use up some of those stickers, and I even trim down that circle, and whatever I trim off from that circle, I'm going to end up using it on the opposite side. Again, it's a great way when you trim something off to use it somewhere else on your spread because it's going to bring in that same color. So this is what I mean. I end up just trimming off that circle, and then that little piece, I'm going to tuck it underneath my Thankful die cut. That way I brought in that mustardy yellow from the right side to the left side. I am almost done, you guys. I'm going to end up adding a few leaves to my cluster. I'm going to add this strip, this word strip to my card. And then I call day 1, 2, 3, and 4 done in my Thankful 30. So easy, so simple. This is why I always recommend to keep your project cohesive, have a stash ready for you, your journaling ready, and you're good to go. Don't forget, I will be linking everything down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.